Welcome to another episode of Athlete POV. We're sitting down with KAMARIA MCDANIEL, women's basketball player recently for Baylor University. How's it going?
It's going great, man. I'm blessed, super blessed. Everything been going good for sure. How you been?
Yeah, I'm doing well. We shot an interview right before this with a girl from Ohio State, so that was pretty cool to get a bunch of different people on. About 30 episodes in with this podcast, it's going pretty well, and it's picking up steam. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good for sure.
Absolutely. So now, something I found really interesting about yourself was how big of an influence your parents have on your athletic game with, their background. Can you go into how they've influenced you so far?
My parents, they're the most supportive people ever. Like they never were like, you have to do this or you have to do that. They always just supported whatever I wanted to do. Um, and I'm a big person on unconditional love because in sports a lot of things are conditional. Like, what can you do for me? How well can you play? But family and your parents are the only people that, regardless of anything, they're gonna treat you the same way. So I hold on tight to them. I talk to them every day. They're not gonna tell me nothing wrong, and they bless me with some good genes. Because my mom ran track at Morris Brown College, and then my dad, he ran track at the University of Michigan. So they're both track athletes. I was not a fan of track, but to each his own. But yeah, just great people. My dad's a big advocate um, in our community. He works at an elementary school out there, and he's just an inspiration. And my mom just she's such a good person, so I let him a lot.
Absolutely. And I'm sure a support system like that is like the most important thing, to like,
Yeah.
not only stay sane with people around you, but just like an
Mhm.
overall like
Mhm.
put you on the right track. And obviously
Yeah.
it's worked so far with all you've
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
But now you mentioned a little bit earlier when we were talking with your clothing line, and that it has a message behind it. Go into that, and how
Mhm.
does that work for you?
So my clothing line is thoughts, but it's two plus signs in the front of it, and then one in the back, and it symbolizes positive thoughts. And I thought, I wanted a way to spread positivity, and I'm like, how do I do this, on a grand scale? And it's like, well, people wear clothes every day, so what better idea, to put these messages and put, things that could brighten someone's day up on a shirt or on a wristband or on a hat. So that's kind of been my thing, for someone to be wearing something from my brand, and a person not having the greatest day walk past and see it, and like that helps them out. So that's kind of like the motivation behind the brand. I'm not looking to be like a Gucci or anything like that. I don't want to overprice things or make things hard for people to get. It's not about that. It's about getting good messages on the clothes so that people can, spread good vibes. I think with
Yes.
social media and everything, it's like, negativity is always around, comparison, and just, the negative effects of social media. It's a lot of good things that come out of it, but I'm just trying to balance it out with some positivity. And plus, I love to sketch, so I'll sketch out all my designs myself. So it's
Oh wow.
cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely pretty cool how you create everything yourself and have complete control. But you mentioned how social media can negatively affect people, and we
Mhm.
also my team put together a bunch of things, and we found how like sometimes you take social media breaks, right, into like
Mhm.
periods of time. Tell me how that's affected you, with maybe with your mental health.
Man, I'm telling you, like, it used to be more of a ritual for me before. Like, I would be like, okay, I'm taking 3 months off. With my brand, I kind of try to stay on there more like consistently. But before, like, man, I would get off social media for like 3, 4 months straight, like without even thinking about it. It's just because like it's a lot of information, and it wastes a lot of time for me personally because I'm scrolling and it's set up. The people who create these sites are literally like people who study the brain, so they know how to set it up for
Mm.
people. It's endless. Like I could sit on Instagram for 10 hours and have new things to look at. I just hop in my bag in that time, and I just think that I'm a person that values my me time, so I kind of go away and like spend time with my peoples in person, because the in person interaction and stuff is so important, you know. So yeah, I just never been big on it. I do it to get messages across, but in terms of just consuming my time and my life, I try to limit it as much as possible. And it get draining to me sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. So like, especially when it get draining, I shut it down.
Absolutely, and it's super important to like limit social interactions and like the time you spend like watch time on your phone, like looking at a little screen. Obviously, it's not
Yeah.
beneficial to be there 24/7. But now with your time away from social media, that's probably more extended than the normal person, I'd say, in this day and age.
Mhm.
What do you think some of the healthiest habits you've picked up, in the real world interactions, with people or something like that?
So in the morning, I have a routine I've been doing ever since New Year's. I get up, and I've been reading this book called Think Like a Monk, and it talked a lot about routine and how, at first I thought routine was like, it's rigorous. You gotta, but the way Jay Shetty put it was like it's opening up space for creativity. And when I thought about it like that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do a morning routine. And I was listening to different podcasts and things of that sort. And so I wake up every day. I don't let my phone vibrate. I woke up to meditation music. Because he just talks about how, like, when we get up, it's an alarm. And then we read text messages, and it's like overloading the system. So I get up, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb at night. Also pick out my clothes at night. Then I get up to meditation music. I hop in a cold shower for like 2 to 5 minutes, and it just basically depends on if I'm listening to a song. And the song might be long. I usually listen to a gospel song. Those are longer. Or I might just hop in. So I get in the cold shower. I get out. I brush my teeth with my left hand, just to kind of wake my brain up, because I do it with my right hand all my life. And then I say affirmations to myself. It's kind of like me and God time in the morning. I pray in the shower, and then I say my affirmations when I get out, and then I just do that. So it takes me about a total of 20 minutes in the morning, and then I try to pick my stuff out at night. I'm trying to limit decision making in the morning so my mind can, like, wake up. But that's what I do in the morning. Other than that, I'm pretty free flowing, just whatever is on my mind to do, pretty spontaneous. But I like the routine in the morning. It's really opened up for a lot of stuff for me.
Definitely, and I feel like routines are definitely super important, to like gain some sort of like pick up steam onto doing something, like establishing something that can like better yourself. So
Right.
myself personally, I would do have a morning routine likewise as yourself. Big thing for me, I wake up, first thing I do is I try to bang out 50 push-ups to get the blood flowing,
Wow.
and then
Okay.
finish after that with a glass of water or like a water bottle. So yeah, a routine's definitely important. I feel like everyone has maybe some own little twist to what they do that works for them.
Uh,
But that's the great thing. You can test out something, and like you said, since the new year you've been doing that, it's really nice. To see, and I'm sure you developed a lot, like discipline wise because of it. So that's really impressive.
yeah. The cold showers is the hardest, man. Like,
Yeah, I've tried some of those. It is definitely tough, and I can say I don't do that right now, but their cold showers are different.
yeah, I mean, it's so good for you though. Like, I just be telling myself, like, listen, you gotta be tough. Like, get in there, and So I first started challenging myself, like, let's not shiver this time, and now I just hop in there. But that's the hardest part for sure.
Definitely. So now, in a different aspect, let's talk more about basketball for yourself. You started off as Penn State, transferred over to Baylor. What was the original recruiting process for you like when you went to Penn State originally?
So Coach Co was there when they recruited me out of high school, and one thing that happened to me in high school was that I tore my ACL.
Mm.
And when I tore my ACL, it took me a minute to get back in my groove, and some coaches like fell off. You know what I'm saying? I was
Right,
highly,
right.
I was
Yeah,
Yeah, so like, and some of the coaches fell off when I hurt myself, and I told myself I was committing to the school that stayed consistent the whole time through my recovery, because it was never a doubt in my mind that I would get back to that level. it just was taking me some time. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a for a 16-year-old, 15-year-old kid, like that's a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know nothing about ACLs. I didn't know nothing about none of that. So you know, Penn State and Indiana were my last two, and Penn State was the most consistent. Not just like the personalities at the coaching staff at the time, and so like in the school, you know, Penn State's a pretty good school academically, and I was into agriculture and things of that sort at that age. So it was like a pretty good fit for me. And then when Coach Keeger came, she recruited me at Marquette. So, you know, I felt more than comfortable staying with her. And you know, we didn't do the best, but you know, me and Coach Keeger, um, she definitely helped me out a lot.
Absolutely. And then just going on like a timetable here. Penn State went over to Baylor now. What was that transitional period like, and was that a tough decision, to ultimately leave where you were so comfortable at first getting recruited?
Yeah, so you know, I really I really wanted to like, you know, experience that place that, you know what I'm saying, like a blue blood, like a, you know what I'm saying, a win. And my goal was the WNBA. And it still is, but it's just like, you know, what better place to do it? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
Coach Markey was good for the one and doneers, you know, like the grad transfers. So and just I knew that team success was a big part of, you know, getting to the league, and that was kind of like something that I took into consideration.
Absolutely.
And
And then I guess what you're trying to say, what I'm getting out of it, you went over to Baylor to to maybe set you up for the next level. Is that sort of what you're saying?
and I wanted to, you know what I'm saying, I wanted to win, and I wanted to, you know, be coached by a Hall of Fame coach, and that's not to discredit Coach Keeger or anything.
Right.
Keeger was a great coach for me, and my year with her, I skyrocketed. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to see what it felt like to play at a blue blood place. Like, you know, now more so for the place and the culture than, you know, the coach. Coach Markey, super cool lady though. I mess with Coach Markey. Like she's a firecracker, but I mess with her for real. So it was more so just, you know, not the coaches, but just the culture, like being a part of that culture. Like we don't lose more than 5 games in the season. Like what does that look like? What does that feel
Right.
like?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And now going over to now present time. Obviously, you took a step back and left the program for a little bit. What does your
uh,
current outlook look like for your basketball future, maybe?
so I'm gonna be playing. I'm transferring to a new school. I'm gonna announce that soon. I know where I'm going. I'm gonna announce that soon. But you know, it's just been some waiver situations on my behalf, just where how everything played out. But you know, I'm gonna play at another university next season. So that's the plan. I've been training and I've been lifting. I've been getting stronger. You know, I hurt my knee here, so I've been really just focused on that.
That's pretty exciting. I mean, like a new step to like your career, it has to be probably every time you switch it up, it has to be exciting in some aspect, and you're always doing stuff that's most beneficial to yourself. So I'm sure wherever you've decided to go, like you said, you already decided. Definitely, it's going to be a big deal for you, and I'm excited for you. And I'm sure a lot of people are.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Right. So now a couple other things that just relate to maybe yourself. How would you say that music relates to you, and what music really influenced you the most? Maybe like a pregame, or just meditating in the mood. How does music relate to Kamaria?
Man, I'm telling you, like, music is my therapy. Like, it's not even close to anything else. I would say probably, you know, I'm by water a lot. You know, when I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, I'll go by a body of water and sit there. But in terms of like, music is so therapeutic to me. Like, I'll listen to music so much. Like, I think musicians and artists say things that I haven't like put together in my own mind, but I relate to. So, I listen to music a lot, man. Like that's one of my favorite
Right,
things to
and
do.
just to cut in a little bit, you mentioned how they say stuff that you're not there yet, but it influences you. Sort of like a goal
Yeah,
that you want to try to get to, maybe
yeah,
whatever you're trying to get to, you know. So that's pretty
yeah,
cool to think of it like that. Yeah. So that's like you listen to it, like the influence is just so powerful. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
yeah.
It makes
And
sense.
even like what I feel in the moment, like somebody talking about, man, I like Rod Wave. I think like a lot of times I can relate to what he's saying because it's like he's saying stuff that everybody go through, but putting it in a song, so it just like it's therapeutic to know somebody is going through the same thing as you or something like that. It's just like, man, I mess with music a lot, man. That's like one of my favorite things to do.
And now bouncing off of like influence and influence to yourself, who would you say are
Mm.
some of the biggest role models in your life? Or do you look up any professional athlete that's really like, yeah, like this person is like making me who I am today?
Man, I would say, you know, my parents for real. I think that I try to stay away from looking up to people, you know what I'm saying? Like I learn from other people's mistakes and I like other people's advice and I love talking to people older than me, but I feel like we all have our own path and our own story. So for me, it's more so about embracing minds rather than to try to duplicate or, you know, take stuff from other people's. And that's not to discredit anyone, but I'm really big on self,
Right.
you know. So, my parents and I'm more so like character over accomplishments. Like if I want to mimic or take after anything, it would be character wise rather than accomplishments because what God has for me is for me. And so if I'm looking up to Candace Parker, she got an Adidas deal, that's not for me. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
know what you mean.
I'm yeah, I'm trying to embrace what's for me and so more so character wise, but like Maya Moore, the stuff that she's been doing and the advocating, that's more so the things that I admire or inspired by, you know what I'm saying, the advocate work
Right.
because
So
we putting up positions in the platforms. Like we gotta, do something else rather than play a sport. So I think that's our responsibility as athletes as well, is to advocate. So definitely, if I had to choose one, it would be like Maya Moore, like LeBron starting his own school. Like I could see myself doing stuff like that. So it's more so on the non-basketball side for me because I know that my path and my plan and what I accomplish is gonna be unique to me. So I don't want to compare or like nobody else. I want to embrace what's mine. So
I got you. So what I'm getting out of it, you're trying to take different aspects of different types of people and then put your own twist on what they're gonna do, sort of, what they've done, sort of, and make it like about
yeah,
you. Well, because
yeah,
because
just embracing my own path. I would say I'm embracing my own path, but I I'm inspired by some of the non-basketball things that people do, like starting their own school or helping people who are wrongfully convicted get out of jail. So it's more so on the advocate side and what they do outside of their sport that's inspiring to me or I would look up to. But in terms of my basketball accomplishments or who I am or who I'm becoming, I think is unique to me, and I focus on embracing that. You know.
it's super interesting to hear from someone like as young as yourself saying how it's bigger than just basketball and how you want to affect other people's lives so heavily. So that's I think really cool for someone like yourself, a college athlete, to say.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
So on a more lighter aspect, if you
Uh-huh.
could go out to dinner with two people, say, who are you going with? What are you ordering? And where are you going?
Dead or alive?
Either.
One, I go with Jesus. I'm not gonna lie. I would go with Jesus. Two, I feel like Jesus would want to eat somewhere healthy, so probably you know I don't know what Jesus would want to eat at for real. Maybe like a smoothie bowl place or something like that. It's something healthy. I don't know. But I definitely go with Jesus. Give me like some fruits and some vegetables. I feel like we'd be on that vibe. So maybe like a smoothie bowl or a salad. And I would have a lot of things to ask him. Um, you know, but definitely the first person that came to my mind was Jesus for sure.
Yeah, and
Um, Second person I would have a meal with, man. I'm thinking of if I want to go rapper or book author right now. Um, let me see. I would say NLE Chopper, the new NLE Chopper. Like he's interesting to me. Like the way he's doing the herbs and all of the stuff that he's doing. And I listen to his songs to meditate a little bit. His newer songs, you know, he kind of turned his life around a little
right.
bit. And I've been kind of just following his journey. So definitely him. It'll probably be a vegan spot because he vegan. So I have to try some vegan food, get something that's close to me as possible with him, and just kind of talk to him about his journey and things of that sort. So yeah, definitely probably NLE Chopper. I really, I really respect him and his journey and how he was able to change the narrative for himself and change his life around us. It's cool.
Absolutely, and I mean, two people very well looked upon, and
Yeah,
just very like I don't know how to say it. Maybe like a very mature answer, I'd say, because people would maybe trying to like eat food with maybe like the greatest people of all time, like you say, like LeBron or like Michael Jordan or something. But I think people you picked definitely just shows character, and I really appreciate that. Definitely nice.
for sure.
Nice. And then the last thing we always ask every athlete on Athlete POV is if they have any advice to maybe someone going through a tough time, maybe mental health related. Any advice you might have.
I would say, man, stay true to yourself. Like you have to. Like it's so many things that go on. People in our lives come and go for many other motives, and they have their own agendas. But if you stay true to yourself, you're gonna always win. You be a good person, you always gonna win. Like you always get rewarded for being a good person, even though it don't seem like it. And like everything in our life is working in our favor. I just posted a video yesterday. Like I only believe it's
Right.
two things happening for me. Like it's only two things happening for us. Either we in a time of growth and we need to recognize the growth and really take that in. Like, okay, I'm not having the best time right now, but let me work on my meditation so it can clear my mind. Like, I was in like a year and a half span of growth, and it made me grow. I didn't see it as I'm in a dark hole and I can't get out. Um, Perspective is everything. I would say that's my biggest key or advice because there's so much that we cannot control.
Right.
But if we have a good perspective, like we can't lose. Like if I'm telling myself I can't lose, then I can't.
Looking at the
So
positive.
always, I mean, you gotta think about it. It rains, but it's sunny probably twice as much, but it has to rain. So
Wow,
it's
that's a pretty good way to look at it. Like an analogy to say like things going on in your life. Maybe it's not good right now, but think of all the other times where it outweighs the bad. So that's definitely pretty important.
the good gonna always outweigh the bad. But we need rain though. It can't be sunny every day.
Right, because then it
Like
gets older, repetitive, or you lose creativity. Stuff like that.
so, it's all good. Like if we think about it, it's all good. Like we having a good time is good. You having a good part in your life. But then if things aren't going well and it's raining, to make that analogy, like after the rain, we gonna be greener than before. You know what I'm saying? So it's really no bad time. It's really no losses. So I would say any athlete out there struggling, your situation right now, it has to get better. But you gotta choose a positive perspective and stay true to yourself and follow your intuition and stand up for yourself. even if you're not in a position of power, speak your truth. You know, that was one of the biggest things that gave me a lot of anxiety with the statement that I put out. But I'm proud of myself because that's my story and that's my truth. And we can speak it, you know? So definitely those things.
Wow. Definitely so, well spoken. I appreciate you speaking up about this stuff because, athletes' mental health doesn't get looked upon enough. And
No.
super important aspect that needs more light. And, NCAA athletes like yourself are, the leaders to make this change of, like, make a difference, if that makes sense, sort of.
Yeah, people, we need to change the narrative. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's important, but in the meantime, we gotta stay true to ourselves and choose the positive perspective. If things are already bad, it doesn't help to be negative about it. It
Right.
just makes it.
You can have like two decisions. Be like mope about it, or what are you gonna do to change? Like you gotta adapt to your current situation.
Everything is working out for the good. Everything, like even the most. If you alive, you got an opportunity. You good. Like. My dad, I could tell my dad, like, hey, Dad, my tire's flat. I'm on the side of the road. He'd be like, you good? We gonna get you. We got AAA, come get you. Like, I'd be like, man, did you hear what I just said? I get that a lot from him because he don't never get, like, shaken up about nothing. He like, man, we good. We got insurance. Like, you good. But I'm like, man, I'm on the side of the road. So, I credit a lot of that to him. That perspective, like I promise you, I call my dad in distress about something, and he will not be frazzled at all. So I get that from him, and I'm like, oh, everything is really okay. Like everything is really good for real. So.
You know what's so funny? My mom yesterday or 2 days ago just got a flat tire pulling out of the driveway. We realized it was flat, so today I I changed and put like the donut on. And I ran over to the gas station literally like an hour ago, and I went to a place, they plugged up the tire. That's actually really funny. He just said that.
Yeah, like I call him about anything, and he'd be like, you good? We got insurance. So like, you good? You got money to pay for it? I'd be like, man, he don't give me no type of emotion back. But I appreciate that, though, because if two people is frantic, then it's not going to be good. But,
right, and someone like that can always, settle someone down or, de-escalate a situation where you think like, oh, this is happening, but like when you have someone that can just relax, it's definitely one, lucky to have someone like that, and two, just makes everything more calm, which is like the goal when you're all stressed.
Yeah, shout out to my dad, man. He never gets like shaken up about nothing. I'm still working on that in my journey, because some stuff I'll be like, man, God, come on, man. I'm trying to do something, so shout out to him. And then the person that I need to like show that emotion, I hit my mom up like, man, guess what happened? You know what I'm saying? So I got the best of both worlds. That's why I love my parents so much. I'm so grateful for them. And my brother, love my brother to death. That's my best friend too. So it's like that's my circle really. My mom, my dad, and my brother. We vibing. I talk to them every day. But yeah.
That's awesome. Great your great overall story that you have with everything going on, and I'm sure in the future set yourself up nicely with whatever team you go to. If if God permits, go over to the WNBA, all set up with that.
Definitely, man. We gotta chop it up again. We gotta do an update.
Yeah, we can. I've actually talked about that with a couple other of our guests that I've had previously. How what's going on now? Like maybe 6 months, a year later, a follow up, like a part two sort of thing. With
That'd be tough, man. That'd be definitely tough. We can build up, you know what I'm saying, a want for it now and then. I'm an open book. Like everything I said, you can post it, man. I'm like walking in my truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to sugarcoat nothing, cause so.
And that's a great that's a great way to look at everything, cause you are who you are, and it's all up to you to put it out there, or up to you to put out a false image, which really doesn't only hurt yourself, So
right.
Yeah, it's a great way to look.
Yeah, people gotta learn from other people. So if I'm sugarcoating it and I'm being false and I'm being fake, then how is somebody else gonna learn?
Yeah.
It don't work like that.
And then you got to look at the bigger picture, how you now influence other people that look up to you. So if you're putting out some false narrative, then how are other people that you influence are how are they going to think, you know? So you got to think about it's bigger than just yourself.
Yes, I'm always going to be an open book, man. So, you know, for anybody, because that's the way to be. For real. Yeah.
Awesome. You have anything else that we didn't mention that you want to throw in here or add?
Man, I had a great time. That's it. I had a great time. I love having these conversations. It's stimulating mentally, you know what I'm saying? To have these conversations and interactions with other people. Nice to meet you, man.
Of course.
I enjoy myself.
Yeah, so I want to thank you for coming on. KAMARIA most recently at Baylor University's women's basketball team, going to his new school next fall. So appreciate her coming on, and we can't wait to see what what your future looks like.
Right, definitely. Sounds good, man. Thank you.
Of course.